Ever wonder about the hidden stories that make our world so extraordinary? Today we're diving into a treasure chest of mind-blowing facts that will leave you amazed. But from the incredible to the downright bizarre, we'll uncover how Napoleon once faced an army of hungry rabbits, reveal the ancient engineering marvel that's still influencing modern doors, and even visit a planet made entirely of diamonds. Oh, and did you know there's a jellyfish that might just cheat death and live forever? If you think that's wild, buckle up because we've only just scratched the surface. Let's explore the unbelievable, the quirky, and the downright extraordinary facts that make life endlessly fascinating. The oldest door in the world. Did you know the oldest door still standing was built over 5,000 years ago? Found in Switzerland, this wooden door dates back to 3063 BCE and is a testament to ancient craftsmanship. Its design is so sturdy, it inspired modern door engineering. Napoleon was once attacked by rabbits. In 1807, Napoleon Bonaparte organized a rabbit hunt for his men. But the event went wrong when the rabbits were released. They charged at Napoleon and his soldiers, mistaking them for food providers. The Great Fire of London helped eradicate the plague, while devastating the 1666 Great Fire of London had an unexpected upside. It killed off many of the rats and fleas carrying the plague, significantly reducing the outbreak in the years that followed. The first submarine was invented in the 1600s. The first working submarine built by Cornelis Drebbel in 1620 was made of wood and leather. It could travel underwater for short distances, paving the way for modern submarines. The ancient Romans had concrete that outlasts modern versions. Roman concrete, or opus caementicium, has lasted for over 2,000 years due to its unique mix of volcanic ash, lime, and seawater. Modern scientists are still studying it to create longer-lasting materials. A forgotten pharaoh's pyramid was rediscovered after 4,400 years. In 2017, archaeologists uncovered the pyramid of Queen Khenkawus in Egypt, buried for over 4 millennia. It revealed new insights into the role of queens in ancient Egyptian society. The Great Wall of China was once held together with sticky rice. The ancient builders of the Great Wall of China used a unique mortar blend that included sticky rice paste, making the structure incredibly durable. Modern chemists confirmed this ancient technique was highly effective. A medieval castle moved stone by stone in 1929. The dismantling and relocation of the historic Fonthill Abbey in England involved moving every stone to protect it from water damage. It took years but preserved the structure's legacy. The Eiffel Tower almost became a giant guillotine. Before it was constructed, Gustav Eiffel proposed the Eiffel Tower as a centerpiece for the 1889 World's Fair, but an alternate design suggested a massive guillotine to symbolize the French Revolution. The Library of Alexandria wasn't destroyed in a single fire. Contrary to popular belief, the Library of Alexandria wasn't destroyed overnight. Its decline was gradual, caused by political unrest, neglect, and smaller fires over centuries. George Washington grew marijuana. In the 18th century, George Washington cultivated hemp on his plantation. It was used for making rope, clothing, and sails, though it wasn't the psychoactive kind we think of today. Paper money was invented in China. The world's first paper currency appeared during the Tang Dynasty in China. It revolutionized trade by replacing bulky coins and set the stage for modern banking. The longest war in history lasted 335 years. The 335 Years' War between the Netherlands and the Isles of Scilly started in 1651 and officially ended in 1986. Amazingly, not a single shot was fired. Stonehenge was once a burial ground. Recent discoveries reveal that Stonehenge served as a burial ground for over 500 years, long before it became a ceremonial site. Its purpose evolved over time, reflecting changes in ancient beliefs. The human brain can generate enough electricity to power a light bulb. Your brain produces about 20 watts of electricity, enough to light up a small bulb. This power fuels the billions of neurons firing every second. Octopus blood is blue. Octopuses have blue blood because it contains copper-based hemocyanin, which helps them transport oxygen efficiently in cold, low-oxygen environments. There's a planet made of diamonds. 55 Cancri e, a super-Earth exoplanet, is believed to be rich in carbon and potentially covered in diamonds. It's about 40 light-years away in the constellation Cancer. Water can boil and freeze simultaneously. At a pressure point called the triple point, water exists as a solid, liquid, and gas at the same time. This phenomenon is a marvel of thermodynamics. Bananas are radioactive. Bananas contain potassium-40, a radioactive isotope. Don't worry, though the radiation is harmless unless you eat thousands of bananas at once. The Sahara Desert was once a lush green oasis. Around 7,000 years ago, the Sahara was covered in grasslands and lakes, thanks to a wetter climate caused by changes in Earth's orbit. Jellyfish have existed longer than dinosaurs. Jellyfish have been floating in Earth's oceans for over 500 million years, making them older than dinosaurs by hundreds of millions of years. The sun's core is hotter than its surface. While the sun's surface is about 10,000 Fahrenheit, its core reaches an astonishing 27 million Fahrenheit, where nuclear fusion powers its energy. A day on Venus is longer than a year. Venus takes 243 Earth days to rotate once on its axis, but only 225 Earth days to orbit the Sun. This makes its day longer than its year. Humans share 60% of their DNA with bananas. Surprisingly, humans share about 60% of their genetic material with bananas. This shows how all life on Earth is interconnected. Sharks have been around longer than trees. Sharks have existed for over 400 million years, while the earliest trees appeared around 350 million years ago. Sharks are older than many land-based species, including dinosaurs. The human nose can detect over 1 trillion scents. Recent studies show that the human nose is capable of detecting over 1 trillion different odors. This is far more sensitive than previously thought. A single bolt of lightning can contain enough energy to toast 100,000 slices of bread. A single lightning bolt can release up to 1 billion joules of energy, enough to power 100,000 slices of toast. The Eiffel Tower can grow taller in summer. Due to the heat, the metal in the Eiffel Tower expands during summer, making it grow by up to 6 inches. The moon has moonquakes. Just like Earth, the moon experiences quakes called moonquakes, which can be caused by the gravitational pull of Earth or even the moon's own internal process. Ants can lift 50 times their own weight. Ants are incredibly strong for their size and can carry up to 50 times their body weight thanks to their muscular build and lightweight exoskeleton. Space is completely silent. Unlike Earth, space has no air, so there's no medium to carry sound waves. That means space is completely silent, even though there's a lot going on. The tallest mountain in the solar system is on Mars. Olympus Mons on Mars is nearly 3 times the height of Mount Everest, standing at about 69,841 feet. You can't hum while holding your nose. It's impossible to hum with your nose pinched because humming requires air to pass through the nasal cavity. Try it, your body needs that airflow to create the sound. There are more stars in the universe than grains of sand on Earth. Estimates suggest that there are about 70 sextillion stars in the observable universe, far more than all the grains of sand on every beach on Earth combined. Cows have best friends. Studies have shown that cows form close social bonds and have best friends they prefer to spend time with. They can get stressed when separated from them. Sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. Sloths can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes underwater, much longer than dolphins, who need to come up for air every few minutes. A cloud can weigh more than 1 million pounds. The average cumulus cloud weighs around 1 million pounds due to the water droplets it contains. A glass of water contains more atoms than all the humans on Earth. A single glass of water contains more molecules than all the humans who have ever lived on Earth. That's over 1 septillion molecules in just 8 ounces of water. The Amazon rainforest is the world's largest medicinal resource. The Amazon rainforest contains more than 25% of the world's medicinal plants. Many of the medicines used today were inspired by the plants native to this area, offering a wealth of untapped potential. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. Scientists estimate that Earth has about 3 trillion trees, far outnumbering the estimated 100 to 400 billion stars in our Milky Way galaxy. The largest living organism is a fungus. The largest living organism on Earth isn't an animal or a plant, but a fungal colony in Oregon. This honey fungus covers over 2,385 acres and is thousands of years old. Hummingbirds can fly backwards. Unlike most birds, hummingbirds have the ability to fly backward. This unique skill is thanks to their incredible wing structure, allowing them to hover and maneuver in all directions. A single acre of forest can hold 100 million insects. A single acre of forest can be home to an astonishing 100 million insects. This ecosystem supports an incredible diversity of life, including tiny critters and large mammals. Polar bear's skin is black. While their fur appears white, polar bears actually have black skin underneath, which helps absorb and retain heat from the sun in the cold Arctic environment. The deepest point on Earth is in the Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench in the Pacific Ocean reaches a depth of about 36,000 feet, deeper than Mount Everest is tall. It's the most profound point on Earth. Some turtles can live to be over 150 years old. The oldest recorded turtle lived to be 188 years old. Certain species, like the Aldabra giant tortoise, are known for their extremely long lifespans, often surpassing a century. The world's largest flower takes 10 years to bloom. The Titan arum, also known as the corpse flower, has the largest individual flower of any plant. It can take up to 10 years for it to bloom, and when it does, it releases an awful smell similar to rotting flesh. A blue whale's heart weighs as much as a car. The heart of a blue whale, the largest animal on Earth, can weigh up to 400 pounds. It's so massive that a small child could crawl through its arteries. Crocodiles have changed little in 200 million years. Crocodiles have been around for over 200 million years, and their overall design has remained remarkably similar. They are often called living fossils because they've changed so little over time. Some plants can walk. Certain species of plants, like the strangler fig, are known to walk by sending their roots downward and outward in search of sunlight, gradually shifting their position. The longest living animal is the bowhead whale. The bowhead whale can live up to 200 years, making it the longest living mammal on Earth. Their longevity is due in part to their genetic adaptations and low exposure to disease. There are ants in every continent except Antarctica. Ants are found all over the world, in every continent except Antarctica. There are over 12,000 known species of ants, and they thrive in almost every environment. A single spider can produce multiple types of silk. Spiders can produce up to 7 different types of silk, each used for different purposes, such as building webs, making egg sacs, or wrapping prey. A sneeze travels at over 100 miles per hour. When you sneeze, the air is expelled from your lungs at speeds greater than 100 miles per hour. This helps clear your airways and can even spread germs quickly. Bamboo can grow up to 35 inches in a single day. Bamboo is the fastest growing plant on Earth. Some species can grow up to 35 inches in a single day, making it an incredibly renewable resource. Cicadas can live underground for up to 17 years. Cicadas spend most of their lives underground as nymphs, feeding on sap from plant roots. Some species stay underground for as long as 17 years before emerging for a short adult life. Elephants can hear through their feet. Elephants have sensitive cells in their feet that can detect vibrations in the ground. They use this ability to communicate with each other over long distances, especially in noisy environments. Honey never spoils. Archaeologists have found pots of honey in ancient Egyptian tombs that are over 3,000 years old and still perfectly edible. Honey's natural preservatives, low moisture and high acidity, help it resist spoilage. Koalas sleep for up to 22 hours a day. Koalas are some of the sleepiest animals on Earth. They spend most of their day sleeping due to the low energy content of their eucalyptus diet. Tardigrades can survive in space. Tardigrades, also known as water bears, are microscopic creatures that can survive extreme conditions, including the vacuum of space and radiation. They can go into a state of suspended animation to endure harsh environments. The Earth's magnetic field can flip. The Earth's magnetic field has flipped many times throughout history, with the magnetic poles swapping places. This process, known as geomagnetic reversal, takes thousands of years to complete. Wombats have cube-shaped poop. Wombats are known for producing cube-shaped poop. This oddity is due to the slow digestion process in their intestines, which forms an unusual shape. 3D printed food is a reality. 3D printing technology has advanced to the point where food can now be printed layer by layer, allowing for more precise food production and the creation of new culinary possibilities. A quaking aspen clone colony is the largest living organism. In Utah's Fish Lake National Forest, a colony of quaking aspen trees is considered the largest living organism on Earth, covering over 106 acres and thought to be thousands of years old. Bioengineered meat is grown in a lab. Lab-grown meat, also known as cultured meat, is produced by growing animal cells in a controlled environment. This process could revolutionize the meat industry by offering a more sustainable and humane alternative to traditional farming. Electric planes are now in development. Several companies are working on electric planes, which could drastically reduce air travel's carbon footprint. These planes are expected to be a viable option within the next decade. Lions are the only cats that live in groups. Unlike other big cats, lions are social animals that live in prides. This cooperation helps them hunt and protect their territory. Sharks can live for several months without eating. Some shark species, like the Greenland shark, can survive for months without food, entering a slow metabolic state that allows them to endure extreme conditions. First computer was powered by steam. The first mechanical computer, created by Charles Babbage in the 1830s, was powered by steam engines. Known as the analytical engine, it was a precursor to modern computers. The first human organ was 3D printed in 2014. In 2014, scientists successfully 3D printed a human organ, a tiny thyroid gland. This breakthrough is a crucial step in the development of personalized, bioprintable organs for transplants. The Internet was originally created as a military weapon. The Internet was originally developed in the late 1960s as part of a US military project called ARPANET. Its goal was to create a decentralized communication network that could withstand nuclear war. The largest snowflake ever recorded was 15 inches across. In 1887, a snowflake with a diameter of 15 inches was recorded in Montana, USA. This remains the largest snowflake ever documented. The world's first car was powered by electricity. While many people associate the invention of the car with gasoline, the first practical automobile was actually powered by electricity. It was built in 1828 by Hungarian engineer Anios Jedlik. There are trees that can talk to each other. Trees in forests communicate with one another through an underground network of fungi called mycorrhizal networks. Through these networks, trees can share nutrients and even warn each other of danger. We can now print working human skin. In 2019, researchers successfully printed human skin cells that function similarly to real skin. This innovation has significant potential for treating burn victims and those with skin conditions. We have a computer that can predict the weather for the next 100 years. Supercomputers like the IBM Blue Gene can simulate climate models to predict weather patterns and climate shifts for the next century. These innovations are crucial in understanding global climate change. You can charge your phone with a solar-powered backpack. Solar-powered backpacks are equipped with solar panels that allow you to charge your devices on the go. They harness the power of the sun to keep your phone, tablet, or laptop charged throughout the day. A day on Venus is longer than a year. A day on Venus lasts about 243 Earth days, but its orbit around the Sun takes only 225 Earth days. This means that one day on Venus is longer than its entire year. A paper battery was created using nanotechnology. Researchers have developed a paper battery using nanotechnology. This battery is lightweight, flexible, and potentially cheaper than traditional batteries, offering a new solution for energy storage in the future. A polar bear's fur is actually transparent. While polar bear fur appears white, it is actually transparent. The hollow hairs help reflect light, giving them a white appearance while also providing insulation against the cold. Artificial intelligence can predict diseases before they appear. AI technology is now being used to predict diseases before they manifest. Through analyzing data, AI can detect early signs of conditions like cancer and heart disease, enabling early interventions and saving lives. Artificial intelligence can create art. AI is now capable of generating art, music, and poetry. One notable example is the AI-created portrait Edmund de Bellamy, which was auctioned for over $432,000 in 2018, showing how AI is reshaping creativity. Brainwaves are being used to control prosthetics. Researchers are developing prosthetic limbs that can be controlled using brainwaves. This technology allows amputees to control their prosthetics with their thoughts, offering a new level of mobility and independence. Electric cars are powered by solar roads. The world's first solar-powered roads were developed in France in 2016. These roads, embedded with solar panels, can generate electricity for electric vehicles, contributing to a cleaner future. Electric running shoes could charge your devices while you walk. Researchers have developed electric shoes that can convert the energy from your walking into electrical power. These shoes can potentially charge devices like phones or tablets as you walk. Exoskeletons are helping people walk again. Exoskeletons, wearable devices that support the body's movements, are now being used to help paralyzed people regain mobility. These devices could revolutionize rehabilitation for people with spinal injuries. Humans are the only species that shed emotional tears. While other animals can cry out of physical discomfort, humans are the only species known to shed emotional tears in response to feelings like sadness, happiness, or frustration. Hyperloop could revolutionize travel at over 700 miles per hour. The Hyperloop, a proposed transportation system, uses a vacuum tube to allow capsules to travel at speeds of over 700 miles per hour. It could dramatically shorten travel times between cities, making long-distance travel faster and more efficient. NASA's spacecraft have sent back sounds from space. In 2019, NASA's Voyager spacecraft captured sounds from interstellar space. The spacecraft recorded electromagnetic vibrations, which were converted into audio, allowing us to hear the strange music of the cosmos. Robots are being used to clean oceans. Robots are being designed to help clean up the oceans by removing plastic waste and other pollutants. These autonomous devices work together to gather trash, making ocean cleaning faster and more efficient. Scientists are creating living robots. Scientists have created xenobots, the world's first living robots made from frog cells. These robots can heal themselves and move independently, opening up new possibilities in robotics and biotechnology. self-healing materials are changing manufacturing. Self-healing materials, like those used in futuristic electronics and coatings, can repair themselves after being scratched or damaged. These materials could vastly reduce waste and extend the lifespan of products. Smart contact lenses are being developed for health monitoring. Researchers are developing smart contact lenses that can monitor glucose levels for diabetics and even detect early signs of eye diseases like glaucoma. These lenses could eliminate the need for regular blood tests and improve eye care. Some metals are so reactive they can explode on contact with water. Certain metals, like sodium and potassium, are so reactive that they can explode when they come into contact with water, producing a violent reaction that releases gas and heat. The first fully autonomous grocery store opened in California. In 2020, California opened the first fully autonomous grocery store, where customers can shop without checkout lines or cashiers. Artificial intelligence tracks what you pick up and charges your account automatically. The first mind-controlled drone was created. In 2017, a mind-controlled drone was flown using a brain-computer interface. This technology uses brainwaves to control the drone's movements, opening the door for futuristic technologies where people can control devices with their thoughts. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is larger than Texas. The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a massive area of plastic debris floating in the Pacific Ocean. It covers an estimated area of 1.6 million square kilometers, which is larger than the state of Texas. The longest migration of any mammal is by the gray whale. The gray whale migrates up to 12,000 miles each year, making it the longest migration of any mammal. They travel between feeding grounds in the Arctic and breeding grounds off Mexico's coast. The moon's surface is covered with tiny dust particles. The moon's surface is covered in fine dust, known as the lunar regolith. This dust was created by constant meteorite impacts over billions of years and is highly abrasive. The oldest known animal was a mollusk. The oldest known animal was a mollusk named Ming, an ocean quacklam which lived to be over 500 years old. Ming was discovered off the coast of Iceland in 2006. The world's first robot lawyer is helping defendants in court. In 2020, a chatbot called Do Not Pay became the world's first robot lawyer, offering free legal advice to individuals facing traffic tickets and other legal issues, revolutionizing access to legal services. There's a jellyfish that is essentially immortal. The Turritopsis dohrnii, also known as the immortal jellyfish, has the unique ability to revert its cells to an earlier stage of development, effectively making it biologically immortal under the right conditions. There's a transparent aluminum that's stronger than steel. In 2009, scientists created a transparent form of aluminum, which is stronger than steel and as clear as glass. This material could revolutionize everything from architecture to aerospace. There's enough DNA in the human body to stretch from the Earth to the Sun. If you unraveled all the DNA in your body and lined it up, it would stretch from Earth to the Sun and back over 600 times. The human body contains about 37.2 trillion cells, each with DNA. Venus spins in the opposite direction of most planets. Venus has a retrograde rotation, meaning it spins in the opposite direction of most planets in the solar system. This results in the sun rising in the west and setting in the east on Venus. We can now 3D print houses. In 2018, a company in the Netherlands successfully 3D printed an entire house in just 24 hours. This innovation could revolutionize the construction industry, making housing faster and more affordable. We can now print organs using stem cells. Scientists have developed the ability to print organs using stem cells. These lab-grown organs could eventually be used in transplants, solving the problem of organ shortages and rejection. Wearable technology can detect Alzheimer's disease early. Wearable devices are now being used to track signs of Alzheimer's disease. These devices analyze patterns of movement and brain activity, helping doctors diagnose Alzheimer's earlier than ever before. A blue whale's tongue weighs as much as an elephant. A blue whale's tongue can weigh as much as an adult elephant, which is around 2,700 kilograms. The whale's heart can weigh as much as a car. A cloud can hold over 500 million kilograms of water. Clouds are incredibly heavy. A typical cumulus cloud contains about 500 million kilograms of water, which is enough to fill 200,000 homes with water. Elephants can recognize themselves in a mirror. Elephants are one of the few animal species, along with dolphins, primates, and magpies, that can recognize themselves in a mirror. This suggests a high level of self-awareness. Honeybees can recognize human faces. Honeybees can recognize and remember human faces, using a similar method to how humans recognize faces. This ability helps them identify flowers and distinguish between different individuals. Octopuses have 3 hearts. Octopuses are fascinating creatures with 3 hearts. 2 hearts pump blood to the gills, while the third heart pumps it to the rest of the body. When an octopus swims, the heart that supplies the body stops beating. The first email was sent in 1971. The first email ever sent was by Ray Tomlinson, an engineer working on ARPANET, the precursor to the internet. He sent a message between 2 computers sitting side by side. The first product to have a barcode was Wrigley's gum. The first product ever to be scanned with a barcode was a pack of Wrigley's chewing gum. It was scanned in 1974 at a supermarket in Ohio. The first recorded use of LOL was in 1989. The acronym LOL, short for Laugh Out Loud, was first recorded in 1989 in a message on a computer forum. It has since become one of the most widely recognized internet abbreviations. The hottest inhabited place on Earth is in Iran. The hottest temperature ever recorded in an inhabited place was in Lut Desert, Iran, where the temperature reached 70.7 degrees Celsius. This is hotter than the surface of some planets. The tallest waterfall in the world is over 3,200 feet high. Angel Falls in Venezuela holds the title of the world's tallest uninterrupted waterfall, with a height of 3,212 feet. The waterfall is so high that the water evaporates before reaching the ground. The total weight of all ants on Earth is equal to the weight of all humans. Estimates suggest that the total biomass of all ants on Earth is approximately equal to the biomass of all humans combined, which is about 70 million tons. The world's largest desert is not the Sahara. The Sahara is often considered the largest desert, but the largest desert on Earth is actually Antarctica. While it's cold, its dry conditions qualify it as a desert. The world's largest iceberg is bigger than the island of Jamaica. The largest iceberg ever recorded, called B-15, was the size of the island of Jamaica, about 11,000 square kilometers. It broke off from Antarctica in 2000. The world's oldest known tree is over 9,500 years old. A tree called Old Ticiko, located in Sweden, is considered the world's oldest known living tree, at over 9,500 years old. It is a clonal tree, meaning it has reproduced through cloning itself. The world's shortest commercial flight lasts only 57 seconds. It's between two islands in the Orkney Islands of Scotland, traveling a distance of just 1.7 miles. There's a lake where you can swim with pink dolphins. In the Amazon River basin, there's a lake called Lake Teffy, where you can swim with the rare pink river dolphins. These dolphins are known for their distinct pink color and are considered one of the most intelligent species of freshwater dolphins. There's a place on Earth where you can see the northern and southern lights at the same time. In parts of the Arctic, such as northern Norway, you can witness both the northern lights and the southern lights at the same time, due to unique solar activity and atmospheric conditions. You can't lick your elbow. Though many people try, it's nearly impossible to lick your own elbow. The human arm is not flexible enough for most people to reach it with their tongue. A full moon can actually make the ocean's tides higher. The gravitational pull of the full moon, as well as the new moon, causes higher than normal tides known as spring tides, making the ocean's tidal range greater. Antarctica is the driest place on Earth. While Antarctica is covered in ice, it is also the driest place on Earth. It receives less than 2 inches of rain per year in most areas, making it a cold desert. Crocodiles cannot stick their tongues out. Crocodiles have a membrane that holds their tongues in place, preventing them from sticking it out of their mouths. This makes it impossible for them to move their tongues like most other animals. Honeybees can communicate through dancing. Honeybees communicate with each other through a unique waggle dance. The dance involves a figure-8 motion and communicates the distance and direction of a food source to other bees. It can rain fish in Honduras. In the town of Lloro, Honduras, there is a phenomenon called Lluvia de Peces, rain of fish. This occurs about once or twice a year when heavy rains cause fish to fall from the sky, likely swept up by water spouts. One piece of space junk can weigh as much as an elephant. Space junk can be remarkably large and heavy. For example, the defunct Russian space station Mir weighed over 130 tons, which is comparable to the weight of an elephant. Sea otters hold hands while sleeping. To prevent drifting apart while they sleep, sea otters hold hands in a raft. This behavior helps them stay connected and avoid getting separated by currents. Some fish can walk on land. The mudskipper fish is known for its ability to walk on land using its fins. It can survive for extended periods out of water and even climb trees. Some turtles can breathe through their butts. Certain species of turtles, such as the Australian Fitzroy River turtle, have the ability to breathe through their cloaca while underwater, allowing them to stay submerged for extended periods. The average human body carries about 5 pounds of bacteria. The human body is home to trillions of bacteria. On average, the weight of bacteria in our body is about 5 pounds, outnumbering human cells by a ratio of 10 to 1. The color of Mars is due to rust. Mars is known as the red planet because its surface is covered in iron oxide, better known as rust. The planet's reddish appearance is caused by the oxidation of iron-rich minerals in its soil. The Eiffel Tower can weigh more than 10,000 cars. The Eiffel Tower weighs around 10,100 tons. If you were to compare that to the weight of a car, about 1 ton, it would be equivalent to the weight of over 10,000 cars stacked on top of each other. The fastest animal on Earth is the peregrine falcon. The peregrine falcon is the fastest animal on Earth. It can reach speeds of over 240 miles per hour while diving to catch prey. The first human to survive going into space without a spacesuit was a Soviet cosmonaut. In 1965, cosmonaut Alexei Leonov was the first person to perform a spacewalk. While outside the spacecraft, he experienced extreme pressure and temperature changes. He was saved by his spacesuit but almost died when it inflated, creating huge difficulty for re-entry. The largest living organism is a fungus. The largest living organism on Earth is a fungus known as Armillaria ostoya. It covers over 2,385 acres in Oregon, making it far larger than any tree or animal. The largest volcano in the solar system is on Mars. Olympus Mons on Mars is the largest volcano in the solar system. It stands nearly 13.6 miles high, which is almost 3 times the height of Mount Everest. The moon is slowly drifting away from Earth. The moon is moving away from Earth at a rate of about 1.5 inches per year. In about 600 million years, this will cause the moon to appear much smaller in the sky. The only letter that doesn't appear in any US state name is Q. Every letter of the alphabet appears in at least one state name in the United States, except for the letter Q. Not even one state name includes the letter Q. The original name for Bank of America was Bank of Italy. Bank of America was originally called Bank of Italy when it was founded in 1904 in San Francisco. It was renamed to Bank of America in 1930. The smallest bone in the human body is the stapes. The stapes bone located in the middle ear is the smallest bone in the human body. It's only about the size of a grain of rice. The speed of a computer mouse has increased 10,000 times since 1968. In 1968, the first computer mouse was developed by Douglas Engelbart. Back then, it was incredibly slow compared to modern-day mice, but today's mice are over 10,000 times faster in terms of processing speed. There are over 200,000 different types of plants on Earth. It's estimated that there are more than 200,000 plant species on Earth, with new ones still being discovered. Each species plays a crucial role in maintaining ecological balance. There's a spacecraft that's headed toward another star. The Voyager 1 spacecraft, launched in 1977, is the farthest human-made object from Earth and is currently traveling toward the star Gliese 445, which it will reach in about 40,000 years. There's a town in Norway where the sun doesn't set for 69 days. In the town of Longyearbyen, located in the Arctic Circle, the sun doesn't set from April 20th to August 23rd, a phenomenon known as the midnight sun. There's a type of shark that can live up to 500 years. The Greenland shark is one of the longest living vertebrates, with some individuals reaching up to 500 years old, making it the longest lived shark species. There's a volcano that erupts ice. In the Antarctic, Mount Erebus is an active volcano that produces lava made of ice. The lava, called cryomagma, is a unique mixture of water and volcanic gas, solidifying into large chunks of frozen lava. There's a waterfall that flows upside down. In Venezuela, there's a phenomenon called the Cataratas del Angel or Angel Falls. During intense winds, the waterfall can appear to flow upwards due to the strong gusts. There's an island where it rains twice a year. The island of Trinidad, located in the Caribbean, is famous for its dry season, where it only rains twice a year. It experiences a microclimate with extended periods of drought. Venus has more volcanoes than any other planet. Venus has an estimated 1,600 volcanoes, more than any other planet in our solar system. Many of these are thought to be active today. Did you know that lions, often referred to as kings of the jungles, don't actually live in jungles? These majestic big cats reign over savanna and grassland, using their signature roars to mark territory and communicate with their pride from over 5 miles away. Lions are the only social big cat living in family prides of up to 30 members. In these prides, lionesses control the hunt, often working in teams to take down animals such as zebras and buffalo, while the males patrol and protect the territory and cubs. That said, a lion's mane is more than a display of power. The darker and fuller the mane, the healthier and more dominant the lion, thus making them more appealing to lionesses. Lions once roamed Europe, Asia, and Africa, and now primarily exist in sub-Saharan Africa, with a small population in India. Conservationists fight to protect them using advanced tools such as GPS collars, drones, and ecotourism to combat poaching and habitat loss. Despite their status as fearsome hunters, lions spend as much as 20 hours a day resting or sacking out and conserving energy for their next hunt. From their complex social structure to their long history and ongoing efforts to protect them, lions are a fascinating combination of strength, strategy, and survival. Did you realize that there are actual ghost ships and that they still wander the oceans? One of the most enigmatic ones was the MV Gienseng, which was found off the coast of Australia in 2006. It had no crew and no cargo and showed no signs of life, just hanging ominously adrift, with no explanation for where it came from or why it was abandoned. Not every ship, however, vanishes without a trace. The Seawise Giant, the biggest ship ever built, was such a giant it was longer than the Empire State Building is tall. It was so large, in fact, that it couldn't even fit through the English Channel. Some ships, however, gained notoriety in their misfortunes. We all know that the Titanic sank, but did you know its sister ship, the RMS Olympic, survived a series of collisions and kept on sailing for decades? And then there's the Vasa, a Swedish warship that sank 20 minutes into its maiden voyage in 1628 because it was too top-heavy. The most incredible part, it was regained nearly pristine after lying on the seafloor for 333 years and is on show in a museum. More than 40 years ago, President Carter signed a proclamation recognizing disease as a source of turning point. Yet, although it occupies more than 70% of the planet, more than 95% of ocean space is unexplored and unobserved, vast swaths of mystery lying in wait below its glittering skin. Underneath these interlacing waves are unbounded territories, ancient shipwrecks, and weird animals that illuminate the dark from the inside out. Take Challenger Deep, for instance. Located in the Mariana Trench, its depths are so profound that if you dropped Mount Everest into it, the top would still be underwater. The ocean is not only incredibly beautiful, it is a force, also vital to life on Earth. Microscopic phytoplankton that live in its sunlit upper layers produce more than half of the oxygen we breathe, rendering the ocean essential to our survival. Meanwhile, the planet's living tectonics are in flux, pushing the Pacific Ocean to close like a wise mouth, while the Atlantic Ocean spreads like the Brussels sprouts are destined to at least half of the time. Just a few meters below the waves, super salty waters can create isolated lakes and rivers known as brines, where dense toxic water will not mix with the surrounding water. And hidden within this watery maze is the Denmark Strait Cataract, Earth's largest waterfall, a drop of over 11,500 feet, a flow so staggeringly grand it makes Angel Falls look like a trickle. The ocean also acts as a huge time capsule, preserving detritus from our past and concealing mysteries that capture our imaginations. More artifacts are thought to be underwater than in all the world's museums put together. Consider the Titanic, whose crumbling hull is slowly being devoured by metal-munching bacteria, a grim illustration of the relentless advance of time in nature. And then there's Point Nemo, a remote spot in the South Pacific so far from land that the closest human beings are often astronauts on the International Space Station. The sea also has secrets kept only by strange sounds. In 1997, the unexplained bloop stumped scientists who eventually blamed the ailment on the roars of an ice quake. But the true wonders of the sea are its living creatures. The Greenland shark, believed to live longer than 500 years, is among nature's most durable beasts. And jellyfish, living fossils, that have drifted in the waters of Earth for more than 500 million years predate the dinosaurs. Life in these abyssal depths has adapted in extraordinary ways. Bioluminescent fish generate their own glow to reach through the endless blackness, and some flourish at pressures more than 1,000 times that at sea level. The octopus, the master of escape, the ingenious problem solver of the sea, reminds us that intelligence and adaptability can thrive in even the harshest conditions. And amid these wonders, the ocean is undergoing slow but profound changes. Climate change is transforming the color of the ocean itself, a clear signal that the planet's warmer temperatures are altering marine ecosystems. With every new find beneath the waves, our understanding of the ocean's complex tapestry deepens, exposing a world both dynamic and enigmatic. Their ebb and flow remind us of our place in the universe, an invitation to contemplate our relative stature in regard to their infinitude. The oceans become a home and a sanctuary, sheltering us from the insecurities of life on solid ground, but unlike any other, because the ocean, our daughter, protects us from ourselves, from the endless series of betrayals we have made against nature. Did you know that pen itself derives from penna, the Latin word for feather? This etymology traces its roots back to the earliest writing instruments. Quill pens, made from the feathers of birds, were the preferred tools of scribes throughout medieval Europe. These were the selected and prepared quills, the start of a long line of writing instruments created to power the capture of thoughts. As time went on, so did the pen. The modern fountain pen was first introduced in the 19th century, providing a more consistent ink flow than its feathered predecessor. That was a breakthrough invention that paved the way for the development of the iconic ballpoint pen. Invented by Laszlo Biro in 1938, Biro's design used a small ball bearing to smoothly spread oil-based ink as it flowed across paper, a major breakthrough, facilitating a less inconvenient, messy, fast-drying writing. The next step in pen evolution was the introduced gel pens, which employ water-based gel ink that enables vivid, smooth writing. In the early 1960s, in a fortuitous merging of both the speed and fluidity offered by the fountain pen and the convenience of the ballpoint mechanism, rollerball pens came onto the scene. The mid-20th century saw the rise in popularity of disposable pens and elastomer pens for their hygienic and low-cost writing solutions for the masses. These days, pens multi-function, not only practical, but also expressions of personal style and even status, with luxury brands such as Montblanc and Parker selling high-end models relying as much on engineering as the writing. Pens have found various applications beyond traditional writing. Specialized pens are used by artists, calligraphers, and designers to create elaborate pieces of art and stunning hand-drawn lettering. And while modern writing implements are ubiquitous, fountain pens have a small but fervent fan base of writers and collectors who love their graceful design and the fine art of caring for the nibs. Improvements have kept pace not only in looks, but many modern pens have also introduced more positive features, such as retractable tips, clip-on designs, and even multiple functions like integrated styluses for phones. The click mechanism that made it easier than ever to alternate writing with storing your pen securely in your pocket didn't come along until the 1960s. Furthermore, even the pen world is evolving along with contemporary demands. Erasable pens featuring thermosensitive ink allow users to erase mistakes through heat from friction or an eraser, making it a particularly helpful option for students and professionals. Even in our digital age, in many cultures, signing documents with a pen still shows a level of trust, formality, and tradition. Environmental consciousness has extended to pen production, with many companies producing products from sustainable materials or recycled materials. These days, some creative pen designs even come with extra features like flashlights, USB drives, and even laser pointers to serve the multi-tack nature of modern users. In our increasingly digital world, digital stylus pens have become essential for artists and professionals working on their tablets and smartphones to bridge the gap between handwriting and modern technology. Overall, the lowly pen is at its heart a wonder of design and practicality. From the simple feather quill to a Mondo high-tech multi-use device, that evolution summarizes not just upgrades in technology and engineering, but the lasting strength of the written word, which is eloquently captured in the age-old adage, "The pen is mightier than the sword." Zebras are some of the most distinctive animals on the African savanna, famous for their black and white stripes, which appear to serve as both a kind of signature and as some sort of survival tool. Each zebra's pattern is unique, similar to a human fingerprint, allowing individuals to recognize one another within the herd. Researchers posit that those stripes may fulfill many purposes. They may serve to camouflage from the tall grasses, confuse a predator mid-charge, or perhaps they deter biting insects, which are attracted less to striped patterns. Successfully hunted down, such large animals might have been an apex predator, but also owed responsibility to be a powerful predator who hasn't relied on other creatures for preserving their life. The plain zebra is the most numerous and can be found in large, coordinated herds in the expansive grasslands of eastern and southern Africa. The other species, the mountain zebra, lives in rough, hilly country and has a prominent dewlap, and Grevy zebra, the largest species, has narrow stripes and exists mainly in the semi-arid regions of East Africa. Despite these variations, all zebra species have an intense dependence upon social structures for survival. A zebra's life revolves around social behavior. They live in small family units called harems, typically comprising one dominant stallion, a few mares, and their young. Smaller groups of elephants tend to coalesce into larger herds, which increases their capacity to detect and react to threats. Communication in these groups is complex. Zebras communicate through a range of sounds, from barks and whinnies to snorts, as well as through body language and facial expressions, to stay bonded with one another and warn others of danger. In addition, zebras are herbivores whose main diets consist of bamboo, and hence their role in the ecosystem is essential. They graze, managing the growth of the grassland, which supports a diversity of plant and animal life. This role as natural landscapers serves not only to sustain their habitat, but to regulate the health and balance of the entire savanna ecosystem. Zebras escape their predators with speed, agility, and a coordinated group defense. Running fast and having good turning skills are essential for avoiding predators, including lions, hyena, and wild dogs. Moreover, herd safety in numbers helps zebras to see potential threats sooner and respond as a group, improving their chances of survival. Another aspect of zebra life that fascinates is seasonal migrations. In the Serengeti and other areas, zebras travel long distances in search of water and new grazing. These migrations serve as a testament to their resilience and flexibility, while also serving as crucial contributors to the ecological functions of the savanna through nutrient cycling and vegetation renewal. Some zebra species are under threat, despite their resilience and adaptability. Plain zebras are still relatively abundant, but mountain and Grevy zebras are struggling due to loss of habitat, human encroachment, and poaching. These efforts are critical to safeguarding them and their natural environments. And by supporting these initiatives, we all play a small part in helping to maintain the delicate balance of the ecosystems that zebras and millions, perhaps billions of other species rely on. So as you seek similarities between zebras and the horses you know, you will soon realize that there is so much more to zebras than their striking stripes, living as essential contributors to their ecosystem and displaying fascinating behaviors and adaptations to help them thrive where they belong in the wild. Their distinctive social systems, astounding migrations, and vital ecological functions serve as a testament to the importance of preserving the natural world for the generations to come. Rabbits are great animals, fun to watch with a lot of cool facts. They possess many unique traits that enable their survival in the wild, in addition to making them excellent pets. For instance, rabbits have lateral eyes that allow them to see almost 360 degrees. This broad eyesight helps them monitor most of their surroundings at once, meaning they can detect potential predators even if they are busy eating or resting. Their long ears are not just cute, they also enable them to hear the faintest sounds and cool off on hot days. Another very fun thing that rabbits do is called a binky. To binky, a rabbit suddenly leaps into the air, twists its body, and kicks its legs in a spontaneous happy dance. This happy leap is a definite indication that the rabbit is in high spirits. Some rabbits can also run fast when they want to. Some can reach speeds of 35 miles per hour in short bursts, which helps them escape predators like foxes or hawks. Rabbits are great diggers in the wild. They dig tunnels known as warrens with their powerful front paws. These warrens are underground mazes filled with countless hidden entrances and winding hallways. They offer a secure shelter where rabbits can nest during the daytime, care for their young, and retreat from danger. Warren is a complex design that can confuse a predator and much more difficult for anyone catching a rabbit. Rabbits have a cool trick when they eat. They have two types of droppings. The first type are the hard, dry pellets that you may have noticed sprinkled around a garden. The second type is macerated, soft, nutrient-rich pellets, known as cecotropes. As these soft pellets are passed directly after coming out of their bodies, rabbits consume them, allowing them to gain some vitamins and nutrients from their food. This specialized process allows them to take advantage of a diet that consists primarily of grass and woody plants. Unlike wild animals, rabbits talk to each other not so much in noisy sounds, but in body language. For instance, if a rabbit is afraid, it can thump its back feet on the ground. This noise, which is knocking together, signals other problems that there is danger in the area. They also express their affection with copious grooming, licking, and cleaning each other's fur. They also reciprocally affect others in the colony and strengthen their bond. Rabbits hold a special place in many human narratives and traditions. Known as the moon rabbits, magical rabbits that live on the moon and pound a special elixir of immortality, the moon rabbits are one of the legends of Chinese folklore. The tale of the tortoise and the hare is just one example of the cleverness and mischief Western stories often attribute to rabbits. Peter Rabbit from Beatrix Potter's stories, for example, embarks on exciting adventures and sometimes gets into mischief, but his cleverness is always there to help him out of trouble. Another similarly well-known character who is always in a rush is the White Rabbit from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, that takes her on an adventure. Rabbits are playful and energetic creatures, but they are also extremely sensitive. Their little hearts also can be overwhelmed if frightened or if their environment is not calm and safe. A fact that is vital to know about rabbits is that they cannot vomit, which means that if they consume something bad, it leads to an unpleasant end result. For such a temperament, giving them the right food and a secure, gentle environment is essential. Rabbits care deeply about family as well. Doe rabbits are very protective of their young, known as kits. Kits are born tiny, blind, and hairless, so they rely entirely on their mother for warmth and food. In their pastures, they learn to hop, munch on new greens, and forage their environment. Even when they're grouped together, rabbits enjoy having their own little quarters in their home, so the layout of their warrens becomes an important thing. The more complex, the better. So, to conclude, rabbits are fantastic animals whose playful nature, survival skills, and friendly demeanor blend perfectly. Rabbits bring us back to the time when the world was full of peaceful binkies in a field and discreet chomps of delicious foliage, and communities living together happily in vast subterranean warrens. These features and behaviors, along with their delicate nature, not only enable them to navigate the wild, but also turn into beloved pets, and end up so flourishing in tales and artwork. Excitement about how rabbits accept each other or move makes us aware of the little joyful things in life, as well as motivate us to be better in caring for the earth. Horses have done the remarkable changing human civilization for more than 5,000 years, coming from the windswept grasslands of Central Asia as wild, free-roaming beings. The development of these majestic creatures into companions of men has been a story of both adaptation and profit. But early humans understood the power, speed, and endurance of horses, setting in place a relationship that helped transform the nomadic life and ancient empires. From the nitty-gritty of the Eurasian steppes to the magnificent battle theaters of history, horses began to be a crucial part of mobility of both people and goods and ideas, and changed the course of events in human history. It was a gradual but revolutionary process. The earliest pastoral societies started to domesticate untamed equines, slowly selecting for traits to enhance tenability, stamina, and high speed. This would-be relationship evolved, with horses transforming from prey to domesticated partners. Relationships which meant the difference between victory and defeat on the battlefield, or success and failure in trade and exploration. Not only were horses ridden and used to pull chariots, but they also served as symbols of power and prestige, and were featured in rituals and represented in ancient art and mythology. They can be found on the Silk Road and other historic trade routes, where their mobility enabled the exchange of cultures, technologies, and innovations. Aside from their historical importance, the physical features of horses are a wonder of natural engineering. Some varieties, like the thoroughbred, achieve speeds as great as 40 miles per hour, with svelte aerodynamic profiles and beefy builds engineered to propel their athletic bodies as fast as possible. Their cardiovascular systems are equally marvel-way. A horse's heart, which weighs 8 to 9 pounds, can pump more than 100 liters of blood per minute during strenuous activity, sustaining their extraordinary stamina and agility. Unique adaptations like the stay apparatus that allows horses to lock their legs while standing, allowing them to rest without fully lying down, a trait that has evolved as a survival mechanism in the wild. These specific anatomical adaptations are a testament to horses' evolutionary need for speed, which allows them to excel in a range of physical activities, from racing to long-distance endurance competitions. Equally compelling is the complex social structure that governs equine behavior. Horses are fundamentally social animals that naturally live in herds with complex hierarchies and subtle systems of communication. And within those groups, each member plays a role, be it the protective stallion, the nurturing mare, or the inquisitive foal. And interactions are governed by a delicate balance of body language, facial expressions, and vocalization. They have an almost 360-degree field of vision, allowing them to see every flicker beyond their eye line, signaling the rest of the herd to possible danger, which collectively prepares for the worst. In fact, enjoyment of makeup ritual, play, and even social nuzzles, she cites, enhance sophisticated social dynamics that enable emotional and mental health in these critters. Horses have an enormous and complex cultural imprint on human society. Horses were worshipped in ancient civilizations, being not just used as slaves or war machines, but also as symbols of gods and courage. They populate the mythologies of many cultures, representing freedom, endurance, and nobility. From the chariots of ancient Egypt and Rome to the cavalry that changed the shape of medieval and modern warfare, horses have been immortalized in literature, art, and folklore. Their photographic visage has provided endless inspiration to poets, painters, and filmmakers who have glorified their beauty, majesty, and grace. From festivals and equestrian events to urban art installations, the legacy of horses as a translation of ancient knowledge into modern-day life lives on. For instance, horses have a long history of being used for transport and war, but in more recent times, horses have played a significant role beyond these functions in human life. They are at the heart of competitive pursuits like racing, dressage, and show jumping, where its owners have maxed out their natural abilities with sophisticated training techniques and high-tech equipment. Horse therapy has become a treatment for emotional healing and rehabilitation, offering solace and companionship to individuals with physical and mental obstacles. Horses also contribute significantly in environmental conservation as they can graze in the landscape and assist in controlling weeds in places where machinery will not do. Which reminds us that, in various forms, they have lingered in the rural and urban landscapes since time immemorial. Our knowledge of these incredible animals has improved significantly due to the advancements in veterinary science, along with improvements in equine genetics, which has helped us breed better and healthier horses. Researchers investigate everything from muscle physiology to behavior, revealing secrets that are used in the prevention and treatment of equine disease. Now, together with sophisticated imaging techniques and genetic sequencing, modern technology has allowed for advanced equine medicine to be developed, enabling early diagnosis and more effective treatment. Such work not only aims to improve the health and welfare of horses, but can also inform our understanding of animal biology more generally across species. In every aspect, from their untamed origins on the steppes to their roles today in sports, therapy, and conservation, horses reflect the timeless balance of nature and human craft. Their development, both in terms of body structure and your culture, exemplifies an impressive road of adaptation, endurance, and shared esteem. May their presence continue to enrich our lives, sparking creativity and partnership by leading the way into uncharted territories. Horses inspire us and challenge us through their beauty, strength, and indomitable spirit, encouraging us, reminding us to love and protect the natural world they inhabit. Tortoises are some of the most amazing animals on Earth. Unique, ancient, evolutionary geniuses, and eternal survivors. Belonging to the reptile order Testudines and the family Testudinate, land-based turtles adapt to a variety of environments over millions of years, flourishing in conditions that range from the scorching heat of dry deserts to the cooling shade of dense woodland undergrowth. Whereas his kindred marine turtle families have adapted to floating vectors in the sea, tortoises have developed an ambulation style that is distinctly terrestrial, fox-like in his pace but more deliberate than the foraging gazelle or leopard, slowly moving, neither a pop nor a crack, but a sound that resonates, as though left behind in the memory of a question waiting to be answered. And because of this, a sensibility, if we could call it that, an anthropomorphic gaze, so slow that the macro-realism leaves breath marks in the stone, a creeping wisdom of nature. Their evolutionary story has enabled them to endure radical changes to climate and geography, and they are living fossils of a world long past. One of the things that makes tortoises so fascinating is their incredible lifespan. Some species, including the celebrated Galapagos tortoise, commonly live more than a century, and many individuals of those species rack up ages unrivaled by any creature on Earth. Such longevity can be attributed to their low metabolic rate, which is closely associated with their lethargy and energy-efficient way of living. Well, the tortoise's long life is, in many ways, a glimpse into the past, a reminder that with enough persistence, along with the ability to adapt, you can win the race, if only over the course of an extremely long time frame. Not only are they a fascinating topic within the study of science and geology, but their will to survive through millennia of environmental upheaval makes them emblems of patience and eternal endurance of life. The tortoise's robust, intricately designed shell is one of the primary keys to its survival and its iconic image. Far from being a simple exoskeleton, the shell is a complex combination of bone and keratin that performs a variety of important functions. It itself consists of two different sections, the upper carapace and the lower plastron, both strongly fused to the tortoise's ribcage and spine. This unusual structure has evolved into an ability for these ancient creatures to use this as a defensive wall against predators in extreme weather. The shell's pattern, texture, and coloration not only help camouflage it in its natural habitats, they tell the story of evolutionary innovation. A design perfected over millions of years to provide protection without sacrificing mobility. Along with their impressive physical defenses, tortoises evolved equally interesting dietary ones. Being predominantly herbivorous, they depend on a plethora of greenery, grass, fruits, and succulents to survive. Their slow metabolism, along with this plant-based diet, guarantees that energy is preserved and utilized effectively over time. Their foraging patterns are methodical and deliberate. Each morsel is savored and consumed with care, allowing them to obtain as many nutrients as possible, even when food sources are limited. Such an adaptation is especially useful in habitats where food sources can vary greatly by season, highlighting the remarkable tenacity of the tortoise to survive in some of the harshest environments on the planet. In addition to their biological and ecological wonders, tortoises also hold a deep significance within human culture and history. These animals have been revered throughout many cultures for their wisdom and patience, stability, and endurance. Divine tortoise is synonymous with slow and steady wins the race, and so it is with all myths, all of which always include the tortoise as the ultimate figure of perseverance over time. Funny how life imitates myths, whether they be in art, as seen in the classic fable of the tortoise and the hare, literature, like the aforementioned fable and many others, or oral or traditional storytelling. The tortoise and the image of what they represent has inspired countless who have come in contact with it to embrace a mentality that values resilience over panic, indifference over excessiveness, and a deliberate approach to life rather than a speedy one. However, modern tortoise populations are now threatened by numerous factors that endanger their survival despite their long evolutionary history and remarkable adaptations. Destruction of their natural habitats, driven by urban expansion, agriculture, and climate change, has drastically diminished the regions where many tortoise species can shelter themselves safely. Not to mention, the illegal wildlife trade still hunts these gentle beings for their shells or as exotic pets, decreasing their population even more in the wild. Invasive species that disrupt local ecosystems only exacerbate these issues, making conservation efforts increasingly urgent. From the Fukuchan team to conservation organizations and local communities in multiple countries, researchers in all walks of life are now working together to establish bylaws, other protections of tortoise habitats, regulate the pet trade, educate the public on the need to save these living fossils. When it comes to tortoises, as I see it in the larger picture of living creatures, this makes a salient point about nature's slow yet steady ways being powerful in the end. The legend of these ancient creatures, remarkable survivors, and evolution champion offers a story of survival, adaptation, and the complex interplay of life on the planet. Although our research efforts and admiration for these wonderful creatures continue, we are invited to think of ourselves of our own rhythm of life. Sometimes, the most sustainable and impactful things don't come from being impetuous, but rather from slow, gradual progress. So much of the tortoise story remains complex and majestic, and it teaches us a timeless purpose. enduring strength belonging in persistence and time, the ability to adjust, and the slow, deliberate path towards the goal ahead. Since before time began, eagles bounded scientists and storytellers alike, acclaimed as symbols of power, liberty, and a savage, almost cosmic beauty. Majestic birds of prey, golden eagles soar amidst various terrains, an indication of the ecological adjustments so very crucial to preserving balance. Eagles have a long evolutionary line stretching back millions of years, making them some of the most effective hunters on Earth. Adapted for soaring through the air and ranging over great areas. The physical abilities of an eagle are one of its most noticeable characteristics. Their massive wings can span more than 2 meters, allowing the birds to glide effortlessly through large air masses with a few powerful wing beats, and can reach very high altitudes. With an estimated 4 to 8 times the visual acuity of a human, they are capable of spotting even the slightest movement on the ground from a distance. In addition to this incredible sight, they also possess powerful beaks and impressive talons built for grasping prey and thoroughly disabling their meal should they catch one. There are a number of different species of eagle, each adapted in its own particular way. For example, the bald eagle is known for its beautiful images, bald head, and a golden beak, which lives a happy life in the outdoors and is used as a symbol of freedom. The golden eagle, on the other hand, is known for doing incredible stoops or high-speed dives to catch its prey, and is slightly faster and more agile than the bald eagle. In addition to these familiar raptors, many other eagles also inhabit the ecosystems of our world, each bringing its own unique habits and adaptations to the feast of feather diversity. The avian homes of an eagle are as diverse as the avian themselves, from steep mountain ranges and wide plains to dense forests and coastal areas. They have found niches in nearly every habitat on the planet. One particular area where all these varying habitats are united is in the need for an adequate nest, or eyries, which can be the largest construction by any bird species. Some of these great structures are built high in tree canopies or on steep cliffs. They may help active hunters spot potential prey from a distance while also keeping their future meals safe from predators. Especially their size and the fact that they are really darn sturdy are a testament to the saving grace of these birds' resourcefulness and tenacity. Eagles will demonstrate incredible skill in pursuing their prey. Their diet usually includes fish, small mammals, and other birds, and they hunt using a combination of stealth, speed, and precision aerial maneuvers. As it makes its descent toward a target, an eagle may perform an elaborate dive, plummeting down at speeds reaching over 100 kilometers per hour when the opportunities arise. And of strength. This jaw-dropping showcase of agility is also a complex dance of strategy and survival as much as a show of raw physical might. Eagles, as top predators, have an important function in controlling their prey populations, contributing to a balanced ecosystem. But eagles have not just served ecological purposes. These birds are revered as emblems of honor, courage, and liberation across continents and through the ages. In several cultures, the eagle's flight is a metaphor for spiritual development and the search for higher truths. That intimate relationship with nature is evident in the art, the literature, and the national symbol, such the eagle, the emblematic symbol for independence and indomitable strength. That kind of symbolism gallops into the 21st century to encourage all sorts of movements and ideals and reflects the enduring connection between humanity and nature. Although they are iconic and venerated, many species of eagles have undergone great pressures in recent decades. Catastrophic habitat loss, environmental contamination, and poaching have all contributed to their decline. The narrative of the bald eagle's resurgence in North America is a beacon of hope, demonstrating the power of concerted conservation initiatives. Thanks to legal protections, habitat restorations, and public education, communities have fought hard to stem the decline of these magnificent birds. Their return not only serves as a testament to the resilience of eagles, but the need to conserve the landscapes on which eagles and numerous other species rely. Ultimately, eagles are so much more than birds of prey. They are not just birds, but living manifestations of nature's artistry in power. Their incredible adaptations, both physiological and behavioral, enabled them to dominate the skies and establish a place for themselves as one of the most impressive predators on Earth. The story of the eagle is not just a tale. It is a poetic reminder of the power of winged action in our lives. This tale of perseverance inspires us to stand up on our flattened wings high before the world in an effort to claim the magnificence of our souls. Protecting these remarkable animals and their ecosystems not only pays tribute to the legacy of these ancient birds, but to the complex, interwoven tapestry of life that nourishes us all. With roots tracing back thousands of years, the cow is an interesting animal filled with a biological miracle of sorts and a cultural masterpiece. As ruminants, they have a highly specialized four-chambered stomach that is built to process fibrous plant material that most other animals cannot. The rumen, the biggest of these chambers, acts as a giant fermentation vat in which billions of microbes, bacteria, protozoa, and fungi work together to digest the cellulose in grass and other forages. The reticulum works closely with the rumen, holding onto heavier particles for more processing. Immediately after these, the omasum, with its many folds, becomes a filter absorbing water and key nutrients, and the abomasum, also known as the true stomach, employs acids and enzymes to conclude the digestion process in a similar manner to the human stomach. This intricate digestive apparatus not only enables cows to derive energy from indigestible plant matter, but is also highly influential in the production of milk, a food source that is benefiting millions of people worldwide. Though digesting material is one of the most interesting of their learnt skills, cows actually have some very complex sensory and social abilities which highlight the adaptability and intelligence of these animals. Having eyes located at the sides of their heads, they offer almost 240 degrees of vision, which used to find predators and to move through different types of terrain. Beside the acute vision, cows also can smell very well and hear extremely well, which are crucial attributes used to communicate and interact with their fellows inside herds. Cows are social creatures by nature and develop complex hierarchies with their herd and deep attachments with herd members. They interact using subtle body language, vocalizations like soft mows, and tactile behaviors such as licking and nuzzling, and these behaviors help strengthen social bonds and alleviate stress. And this rich social life isn't just important for their emotional well-being, it is also vital for maintaining group cohesion, both in the wild and on farms. Cattle, for their part, have proved essential to agricultural life cycle, ensuring human civilization survived, producing food and economy. When it comes to the dairy industry, these animals are particularly crucial. A single dairy cow can yield an astounding 6 to 7 gallons of milk daily. This milk is not just drinking milk, but is transformed into a wide variety of products, from cheese to yogurt to butter to ice cream and powdered milk, all of which play a crucial role in the diets of people across the globe. The biography of dairy cows is remade from their historic role in livestock husbandry to nutritional care and veterinary medicine innovations, ensuring that cows are raised with increasing thoughtfulness around health and well-being while continuing to provide global-scale food production. Likewise, cattle production serves as a foundation of agricultural economies wherein cattle are raised for food as well as assets that engine local and international economies. Environmental considerations are now a core part of cattle farming. Cows are an important part of providing food for a growing population around the world, but as they digest their food, they emit methane, a powerful greenhouse gas that is responsible for climate change. With this challenge in mind, researchers and ranchers have worked together on environmentally sustainable approaches to mitigate the carbon footprint of cattle farming. These include changing cow diets to improve digestion and lessen methane production, better pasture management to increase carbon sequestration, and research on novel technologies that can capture or neutralize gases emitted. One of the most pressing challenges facing agriculture today is balancing the undeniable benefits of cattle with the need for stewardship of our environment. Cattle feature prominently in the dietary habits of people in the global West, and their cultural significance extends beyond dinner plates into the realm of the sacred. Cows are revered in many societies as symbols of fertility, prosperity, and spirituality. In many countries, including India, cows are not just seen as farm animals, but are revered as sacred creatures, closely linked to gods and goddesses, and are regarded with great respect. That respect gets woven into religious rituals, festivals, and everyday life, illustrating a historical and lasting connection between humans and these gentle giants. Casual associations between cows and their pastoral nature offer nostalgia or even condescension. Even in cultures that value cows mostly for their economic benefit, cows represent a pastoral image that evokes an agrarian, simpler time, when they grazed peacefully on verdant fields. The practical and symbolic duality in this case of function exemplifies how cows have molded human culture and tradition for so long. Cows have served less typical functions throughout history. In fact, possession of livestock, especially cattle, has been a measure of wealth and prosperity in many ancient cultures. They were often used as a form of currency or barter, and a household's continued possession of cattle signified not just economic stability, but a close relationship with the land. Over the centuries, countless cattle breeds have developed through selective breeding tailored to unique climates, terrains, and production requirements. Cattle have evolved in part due to human pressures, as people selected for certain traits in cattle that would support their societies. Therefore, the cow's contribution is so embedded within the human civilization's infrastructure that it runs like a thread from primitive agrarianism all the way to industrial agriculture. To sum it up, cows are so much more than just livestock. They're fascinating creatures with a rich inner world, complex biology, interesting social structures, and cultural importance that puts a permanent stamp on our history. But their evolutionary adaptations allow them to process enormous volumes of indigestible grasses into precious nutrients and milk, and their active social lives and sensitive sensor systems show a complexity that still surprises scientists and farmers today. Moving forward, the key challenge will be to balance the advantages of cattle husbandry against the need for sustainable farming practices to preserve our environment and animal welfare standards. As we learn, recognize, and appreciate more fully these incredible creatures, we not only pay tribute to their significance in our history, but also create an opportunity for a future that is both sustainable and interconnected. In nature, few creatures are so engaging, so adaptable, and so full of playfulness as squirrels. These little creatures are part of a large family called Cirrid, which consists of over 200 different species living in many parts of the world. These birds can be found in habitats ranging from filled forests to inner-city parks, confirming their remarkable adaptation to diverse environments. Squirrels are remarkable in that they are one of the most diverse groups of animals on Earth. There are tree squirrels that stay up in the branches, ground squirrels that dig holes in the open fields, and even flying squirrels that sail from tree to tree. Each species has evolved distinct characteristics to thrive in its specific environment. Squirrels also have different toe configurations. For example, tree squirrels have claws well adapted for climbing, whereas ground squirrels have shorter, stronger legs that are good for digging and burrowing. What are some of the characteristics of squirrels? A squirrel's tail is more than a pretty appendage. It assists with balance when they jump from limb to branch, serves as a warm cover on cold days, and even acts as a signal that communicates with other squirrels. They can also use their tails in all sorts of ways to warn others of danger or to show excitement, clearly a versatile tool in their everyday activities. One of the things squirrels do that I find most impressive is their winter allocation preparation efforts. When food is in abundance, they squirrel away nuts and seeds, placing them in numerous locations throughout their territory, a behavior called caching. This meticulous planning ensures that come winter, when food is scarce, they can recall where they stash their spoils. The ability to stash away and retrieve thousands of nuts later is a testament to their incredible memory and planning skills. This habit of caching food not only helps squirrels survive, but also is good for the environment. Sometimes a squirrel forgets about a nut, and that nut can eventually sprout into a tree. Thus, squirrels help spread seeds and promote forest growth. Diverse niches, such as tonguesucker, cleanup crew, and even detritivore, harvested an important part of clear ecosystem. Squirrels are also excellent at avoiding predator. They can spot the trouble from so damn far and have fast eyes and faster reflexes. When a threat is nearby, whether from birds of prey, snakes, or other creatures, squirrels can flee in the blink of an eye. They can evade most predatory threats with speed and agile jumps to avoid such predator movement, making it possible for them to go on about their day without any risk at all. In addition to gathering food and avoiding predators, there is more to a squirrel's life, a busy social life. Though many people have encountered a solitary squirrel, they actually interact with one another in many ways. They communicate using sounds like chirps and barks, in addition to their expressive tail movements. Such signals can be used to warn friends about danger nearby, or to express social distance between individuals. In these groups, combats for food or living space are rare, even within the wild, where competition for food and space can be common. Reproduction is also an important aspect of a squirrel's life. As the mating season approaches, males battle for the girl's attention by flaunting their athletic ability and vigor. Once paired, the female builds a nest called a dray, usually high in trees or in underground burrows for ground squirrels. While the young are still too vulnerable to be properly trained in the ways of the wild, she keeps them in this protected enclosure until they are old enough to be taught how to survive. Seeing a mother squirrel with her babies brings out the maternal side of these active animals. Squirrels have also adapted well to life near humans. They are a familiar sight in many urban and suburban communities, darting along sidewalks and parks in search of food. They have adapted to utilizing the resources that are available in our backyards and often find nuts, fruits, and even food scraps that humans leave behind. Most of city life's hustle and bustle doesn't bother squirrels, who keep up many of their natural habits like caching food and socializing with their neighbors. All in all, squirrels are more than just adorable, nut-eating little creatures. They are clever, ingenious, and exist in important roles in the natural world. From their diverse habitats and ingenious food distortion methods to their sharp senses and quick movements, every aspect of a squirrel's life is a prime example of nature's ability to adapt and thrive. So the next time you spot a squirrel, whether in the wild or on a busy city block, consider how amazing these creatures are and how integral they are to their environment. Parrots are among the most fascinating animals found in nature, with almost 400 unique species all around the globe where they can be found in different environments. From the tiny lovebirds to the flamboyant macaws, each one brings its own palette of colors, behaviors, and adaptations that have intrigued naturalists as well as pet lovers. The diverse range of their natural habitats, spanning tropical rainforests to arid savannas, attests to the incredible adaptability of these birds, a characteristic that has allowed them not only to survive, but also thrive in varying climates. Parrots are very interesting birds, and one of their most interesting features is their ability to mimic sounds, even human speech. To be able to do this takes a level of cognitive ability and social communication complexity you won't find beyond humans, let alone mimicking a sound. Such vocal mimicry allows them to communicate important information, including alerting members of their flock to threats or coordinating joint behavior for activities such as foraging and navigating their environments, critical to their survival in the wild. Their choral talents have endeared them to many across the world as household companions. The colors of parrots only add to their attractiveness. Their zygodactyl feet, a foot structure that has 2 toes facing in each direction, enable them to grasp branches, climb effortlessly, and manipulate food with incredible dexterity. The unique foot structure is a marvel of natural engineering, but is also an adaptation that has enabled parrots to thrive in a variety of ecological niches. Combined with their sturdy beaks, these features have allowed parrots to become effective foragers and navigate the inscrutability of their surroundings. Another big part of parrot life is social behavior. Parrots are highly social animals in their natural habitats and often live in large flocks that depend on cooperative behaviors for survival. This social structure provides a learning environment in which young birds learn important survival skills from their experienced adult observe. These complex social interactions help to reinforce bonds between members of a flock, but they also make communication and coordination easier, both of which are necessary in tasks such as foraging and predator avoidance. Parrots in ecology. The importance of diet. Their omnivorous diet, which includes an array of fruits, nuts, and seeds, with the occasional insect, makes them significant agents of seed dispersal in many ecosystems. In their wanderings through forests and other habitats, they unintentionally aid in the regeneration of plants and biodiversity. By snacking on their own landscape, parrots not only assist local flora, but, as evidenced in this natural gardening service, help illustrate the broader implications of their existence and the interdependence of species within an ecosystem. Birds, parrots, while being resilient and gorgeous, are struggling in the wild habitat. Destruction, climate change, and the illegal pet trade have been pushing their populations under increasing pressure, with several species edging toward endangerment. Studies show increasing threats to their populations, and conservation efforts are more critical now than ever, as protecting parrot habitats and combating illegal trade are vital to ensure that these vibrant birds are still common sights in our natural environment. In the wild, parrots are known to live their lives up to 30 years, while in captivity, their lifespan is even higher and can sometimes exceed 80 years. And while their long lives are testament to their resilience, it also means that they need dedicated care, mental stimulation, and a lifetime commitment. For people who keep parrots as pets, a thorough understanding about the rich social and emotional inner workings of these birds is critical to providing them with a rewarding and healthy existence. In conclusion, parrots are a testament to nature's adaptability and resilience. Their glittering feathers, powerful voices, and elaborate social lives not only make them an endlessly riveting subject of study, but illustrate the precarious balance of the ecosystems they live in. Thus, as we learn more about these remarkable creatures, it is more and more evident that saving these species and their habitats is not simply an issue of aesthetic preservation, it is one of planetary health and diversity as well. Hummingbirds are some of the most amazing members of the bird family, known for their tiny stature, vibrant coloration, and incredible flight capabilities. The bee hummingbird, meanwhile, is the Earth's smallest bird, measuring in at about 2.2 inches long and boasting vibrant, iridescent feathers that glimmer in the light and seem to shine in rich greens, reds, and blues, playing up its petite stature. These shimmering hues add to their majesty, but they share a huge responsibility during their mating feasts, as the four combinations of color and light are essential in attracting a mate, as well as influencing courtship and territorial behaviors. Hummingbirds are known for their stunning aerial feats that appear almost anti-gravity. They beat their wings, which are adapted to be long and narrow up to 80 times per second, a feature that allows them to hover magically in one spot in mid-air. Their ability to rapidly beat their wings makes flying backward and performing complex aerobatic feats a breeze. Another marvel of evolutionary innovation, flitting from blossom to blossom, they become inadvertently the indispensable pollinators, ferrying pollen from flower to flower with each soft drinking. This mutualistic interaction highlights the interdependence between hummingbirds and flowering plants, which is critical for the reproduction and biodiversity of numerous plant species. To sustain their energetic lifestyle, they have evolved one of the fastest metabolisms of any vertebrates. They drink enormous quantities of nectar, up to their own body weight in a day, and also eat insects and spiders for protein. This diet provides an almost unbelievably rapid heart rate, greater than 1,200 beats per minute on intense flight. These birds enter a period of torpor at night, or when conditions are cool. A temporary, hibernation-like state that allows them to conserve energy when food has little to nothing available. Another astonishing modification to their extreme pressure to secure food. Hummingbirds are not just incredible flyers, they're also amazing migrators and are territorial birds as well. Others, such as the ruby-throated hummingbird, make remarkable migrations between Central and North America, where they cover great distances and even fly over some larger water masses. These journeys, however small, illustrate the resilient and navigational prowess of hummingbird. In addition, males are highly aggressive and territorial, defending their feeding territories from most suspected infiltrators. Not only does this behavior ensure access to vital resources, but it also presents a riveting display of aerial combat that underscores the ferocity of their survival strategies. So overall, hummingbirds are beautiful, agile, and able to weather creative made of nature. Their dazzling colors, blistering speeds, and high metabolic rates provide a lens into the marvels of evolutionary adaptation. They serve as crucial pollinators that play a vital role in the health and biodiversity of ecosystems, a reminder of how interconnected and fragile the systems that support us really are. Not only does studying these amazing birds add to our understanding of the natural world, it also allows us to further appreciate the complex interplay of interactions that keep our ecosystems thriving. Famous for their exceptional adaptations and behaviors iconic to Australia, kangaroos are among the most loved creatures in the Australian bush. As members of the marsupial family Macropodidae, Bigfoot in literal speak, they've developed a unique form of locomotion that distinguishes them from most other mammals. With their strong hind legs and muscular tails, they can hop at impressive speeds, covering great distances with an energy efficiency that has fascinated biologists for over 40 years. Not only does this unique locomotion reduce energy usage, but it enables kangaroos to navigate Australia's diverse habitats, from wide-open grasslands to rocky outback, with a grace and agility unmatched in the animal world. Kangaroos are another fine example of the evolutionary process, with a mix of biological features that make them well suited for a land where the extremes run wild. The reproductive strategy of kangaroos is one of the most remarkable features in their biology. Unlike their male counterparts, female kangaroos have a unique pouch, or marsupium, in which their underdeveloped offspring, called joeys, continue to grow and develop safely. That adaptation pairs with the phenomenon of embryonic diapause, in which a mother can hold the development of a new embryo in abeyance until conditions are right. Such a strategy means the joeys will be born when food and water are relatively plentiful and may therefore be able to survive in a country where conditions can change dramatically with the seasons. The diversity of kangaroo species adds an additional rabbit hole promising element to all of this. The red kangaroo, the largest of all living marsupials, is adapted to the dry interior of Australia, whereas the eastern and western grey kangaroos inhabit the more fertile grasslands and woodlands of the eastern and southern parts of the continent. Each species has evolved particular attributes tailored to their environment, whether it's adaptations for thermoregulation in the scorching outback, or nuanced variations in diet and social proclivities that allow the creatures to coexist with other native wildlife. The social behavior in kangaroos is just as enticing. They are extremely social creatures, commonly forming groups referred to as mobs. Such groups not only afford protection from predators via increased vigilance, the more eyes the better, but they also facilitate social interactions that cement elaborate hierarchies. Within these groups, kangaroos participate in a variety of activities, from gentle grooming and play among youngsters to the more dramatic boxing matches between males as they vie for dominance and access to mates. These interactions highlight a fine line between competition and cooperation, as each individual works to patch things up for the overall benefit of the group, while simultaneously competing for its own reproductive success. They help to keep the ecological balance in their habitats. Being an herbivore, they mostly roam for grasses, leaves, or shrubs to eat, which helps encourage healthy growth and manage what percentage of that vegetation is present. They affect the structure and composition of the ecosystems in which they occur, and also aid in seed dispersal, which brings about the regeneration of plant life over large areas. By doing so, kangaroos help to maintain the biodiversity of Australia and are therefore an integral part of the environmental health of the regions in which they live. Human interactions with kangaroos have been complicated and varied over time. Although these marsupials are a national symbol and appear on Australia's coat of arms as well as in song and elsewhere, they have also struggled with human development. In certain areas, kangaroos are considered agricultural pests, resulting in management strategies that attempt to reconcile wildlife preservation and agricultural productivity. Tomorrow's kangaroos. Researchers and wildlife managers continue to collaborate on conservation efforts to ensure kangaroo populations remain strong under changing environmental conditions and human encroachment. Indeed, the scientific study of kangaroos has provided answers that go well beyond the study of one managed species. They are neither plants nor animals, and a study of these unique reproductive mechanisms, energy-efficient locomotion, and social structures has given us clues about evolutionary biology and adaptation. These studies not only enhance our understanding of kangaroos, but they highlight greater lessons of resilience and adaptation in nature. Their survival in such inhospitable domains is a testament to nature's staggering prowess. To wrap things up, kangaroos combine physical excellence, biological engineering, and social sophistication into a package that makes them some of the most fascinating animals alive. These marsupials are not only fascinating for their energy-saving hopping and adapted reproductive methods, of course, but also for what they represent in the natural world and human culture. They continue to thrive in Australia's varied landscapes, a testament to the delicate balance of evolution, environment, and survival. A tale that inspires awe and appreciation for the beauty and complexity of life on this planet. Sparrows are some of the most adaptable and ubiquitous birds in the world and belong to the family Passeridae, a family of over 30 species that are found around the globe and in a wide variety of habitats. These small birds, which can be anywhere from 12 to 18 centimeters long, have slender builds, short but stout beaks, and are equally adept at flying around urban centers and rural landscapes. That they are even here is a tribute to nature's amazing ability to adapt and thrive, even at a time of extreme environmental change. Fortunately, there are so many different types of animals and species that live in these different biomes that you will never run out of things to learn about, especially if you dig a little deep into their history, because many species can be quite the traveler, like the house sparrow, which originally hails from Europe, Asia, and parts of Africa. It is one of the best-known species and, more importantly, one of the most colonized species on the planet. Their remarkable adaptability is responsible for this vast distribution. In cities, they skillfully adapt to human-made structures, nesting on building ledges, under bridges, and in all kinds of menu of urban crevices. They roam through woodlands, farmlands, and scrublands in search of sustenance and shelter in more natural habitats, where each come with benefits and challenges to survival. Their versatility in exploiting different environments is a testament to their evolutionary ingenuity and resilience. Diet is important in sparrows' survival, and they are as adaptable as their habitats when it comes to feeding habits. Although they are mainly seed eaters, sparrows are not strictly seed-eating specialists. They willingly add insects to their diet, particularly in the breeding season, which is crucial for the fast growth and development of their young. Such dietary flexibility not only enables sparrows to survive on variable food availability, but also helps them to thrive in areas where food is either limited or extremely patchy. They scour together for food, with a teaming stain that heightens their prowess in finding grub and fending off enemy. Social behavior is yet another factor in the sparrow's success. These birds were very social with themselves, typically seen in dense flocks that provided safety in numbers. From spaces impacted by global confinement to cafes or office cubicles, the social behavior of sparrows not only serves the need to survive, but vocalize and forage more strategically. Each species possesses its own unique repertoire of calls and songs for courtship, territorial defense, and notifying other flock members of danger. For many human years, the chirps and trills of sparrows comprise a natural soundscape that fills urban parks and rural fields and serves to highlight their role as ecological actors and cultural artifacts. The breeding and nesting behaviors of sparrows demonstrate their cleverness as well. Beavers, these large rodents, can be seen damming water pools to create ponds that serve as a bird's resort. They are very good at building nests that are small, well-insulated, and created from natural abundant materials including twigs, grasses, and leaves. The birds are selective when it comes to where they build their nests. Sparrows frequently choose areas that provide protection from the weather and predators, whether that be at the tops of houses, on tree branches, or hidden among dense bushes. After the eggs are laid, the two parents usually take turns incubating the eggs and feeding the chicks, which helps ensure that the next generation is properly cared for and given a good start in life. Sparrows have also long occupied a special position in human imagination and folklore, frequently portrayed as representations of simplicity, endurance, and the magnificence found in the commonplace. They serve as a reminder that even the tiniest of beings can have tremendous power and meaning. Throughout literature, art, and mythology, sparrows are lauded for their perennial presence and the quiet yet impactful role they play in our natural landscape. The realization that these vibrant songs and tireless activity infuse hope and renewal into our psyche resonates with folks of all generations and cultures. As tough as they are, sparrows aren't immune to the challenges of modern life. Their populations have been affected by urbanization, habitat destruction, and pollution in different parts of the world. Disappearing green spaces and the blanket application of pesticides have changed both food resources and nesting possibilities, resulting in localized negative trends in sparrow numbers. Conservationists and urban planners are increasingly promoting bird-friendly practices, keeping parks in place, planting native vegetation, and minimizing chemical use to help ensure that these adaptable birds keep thriving in both urban and rural settings. The fable of the sparrow, in short, is one of newness and survival. Sparrows are highly adaptable creatures. Whether one catches a glimpse of them flitting through the streets of an urban environment or perhaps flitting through a small garden in a rural area, the lowly sparrow exemplifies the resilience and determination of nature, teaching us about the importance of adaptability, community, and the quiet beauty of life. Trees are one of the most important and interesting creatures on the planet because they are the backbone of the ecosystem and are vital for environmental balance. They carry out the essential process of photosynthesis, whereby they convert sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide into oxygen and glucose. This process powers almost every single aerobic life form on Earth, pumping breathable oxygen into the air while conserving atmospheric carbon, which counters climate change. Trees naturally absorb carbon dioxide as they grow, with carbon stored in their trunks, branches, and roots serving as a natural carbon sink, helping to alleviate the rising levels of greenhouse gases. Apart from the biochemical services they provide, trees are an extraordinary array of species, both a proof of nature's adaptability and a key part of biodiversity. There are thousands of species of trees on the planet, each well adapted for its setting, from the towering giants like the redwoods and sequoias that can stretch more than 350 feet high, to the diminutive bonsai trees that capture centuries of horticultural tradition in miniature form. Through artful pruning, the range of size, shape, and function among trees are staggering. Some of these trees, like the ancient bristlecone pines, have withstood the test of time for thousands of years, serving as living witnesses to the history and evolution of life on Earth. Forests, complex communities built around trees, vibrant ecosystems that sustain an astonishing diversity of life. They host shelters, food, and breeding grounds for innumerable species of insects, birds, mammals, and other organisms, creating sophisticated networks of mutuality. These ecosystems are not only vital for the survival of wildlife, but also for local climate regulation and soil health. Canopies of forests keep temperatures moderate and shield the soil from erosion, and the forest floor within each ecosystem serves as a spot for recycling nutrients to grow new life. Aside from their ecological value, trees are essential to human society in ways that are most tangible. They provide raw materials like timber and paper that serve as the backbone of countless industries, and produce fruits, nuts, and compounds used in medicine that have nurtured cultures for millennia. From trees, we get shelter, stigma, crafts or art, and traditional medicine based on natural compounds in tree species. Urban centers as well have embraced the importance of trees, which provide shade to cool down hot pavement, amplify green space, lower noise pollution, filter air, prevent flooding and heavy rains, and also add to the aesthetics of city dwellers, creating pockets of beauty and calm in otherwise concrete wastelands. Trees have a reverent place in human history and mythology. Trees appear in art, literature, and religious practices in many cultures as symbols of life, growth, and renewal. Many cultures also preserve sacred groves and ancient trees as cultural heritage and represent the bond of humans with nature. This symbolic significance is backed by the benefits trees have to offer, from the need to be psychologically soothed by greenery, the reason you see real trees inside office complexes, to a source of income from the things you can harvest from forests, all of which speak of the intricate interdependence between we humans and trees. The trees are also crucial in terms of the water cycle system. Their vast root systems anchor the soil and prevent it from washing away, while their canopies intercept rain so it can sink slowly into the ground. The natural regulation of water flow that this creates prevents both flash floods and landslides while helping to maintain groundwater levels, which help to provide a continual flow of water to both natural ecosystems and human community. By acting as soil stabilizers and helping to create microclimates, trees bolster agriculture and support local economies in many areas. The conservation of trees and forests is a critical issue in the present day and age of growing urbanization and environmental issues. Deforestation from logging, agriculture, and urban expansion threatens not only biodiversity, but also the delivery of ecosystem services provided by trees. It is things like global reforestation and natural habitat restoration in the fight against climate change and preservation of natural heritage that sustains life on Earth. To sum up, trees are so much more than just plants. They are active, living systems that benefit the health of our planet in myriad ways. They cleanse the air, regulate the climate, maintain biodiversity, stabilize soils, and enrich human culture and economies. Understanding the crucial importance of trees is the path to a sustainable future in which nature is not only preserved, but revered by all living beings. Mountains have mesmerized the human mind for ages, towering as sublime tributes to the forces of nature that are always reshaping the earth. These are not just awe-inspiring natural structures, but also dynamic archives of Earth's geological history. Born of the collision of tectonic plates, the slow but constant growth of the Earth's crust and volcanic activity, mountains rise as towering testimony to energy and time. In many parts of the world, mountains emerge through the folding and faulting of layers of the Earth's crust, time and tremendous pressure sculpting sedimentary layers into jagged peaks. Volcanic mountains, by contrast, form when the Earth's mantle bursts, either explosively or effusively, releasing molten rock that cools into new summits. At the same time, erosional forces gradually polish these massive structures, carving their topography and constantly reshaping their environment. This interplay of making and unmaking speaks to the Earth's abiding capacity for regeneration and metamorphosis. Mountains are not just the product of geological forces, but are also marvels of elevation. Peaks like Mount Everest, reaching a height of 8,848 meters above sea level, are archetypal symbols of the zenith of human aspiration, as well as the marvels of nature. But a closer examination shows that perspectives on measure have the power to transform our sense of these giants. For example, Mauna Kea in Hawaii can be considered taller than Everest when measured from its underwater base. This commonly overlooked detail calls us to explore more than the eye can see in regards to these land features, but also the extensive ranges below ground level as well. Such comparisons expand our understanding of what makes a mountain and inspire further questioning about how we quantify and assign value to the natural world. Not just imposing physical features, mountains support diverse ecosystems that manage to bloom where they seem to have no business growing. From the thick, temperate forests that cover their lower slopes to the open, windswept alpine meadows near the peaks, each elevation supports different communities of plants and animals. Such species have adapted uniquely to extreme cold, hypoxic conditions with lower levels of atmospheric oxygen, and high solar radiation at these high-altitude environments. These isolated habitats, often residing within rock outcroppings, allow endemic species unique to a location and not naturally found anywhere else on the planet, to develop unique characteristics over generations. But the extraordinary vertical biodiversity not only contributes to the global tapestry of life, it also offers invaluable research opportunities, revealing the ways that life can thrive in even the harshest conditions. Mountains are also part of the global water cycle. They are natural reservoirs, storing and slowly releasing fresh water. Their snow-capped summits and glaciers serve as enormous sponges, soaking up precipitation in cooler months and releasing it more gradually through a web of streams and rivers. It's an essential process to help keep drinking water clean for millions of people, support agriculture, and maintain aquatic ecosystems downstream. But increasing global temperatures and changing weather patterns are already affecting these delicate processes. Rapid glacier melt and erratic snowfall are alarming both for their potential to undermine the reliability of these natural water towers and for what they reveal about the future of water security in much of the world. Sustainable stewardship of the environment becomes paramount as climate change exacerbates the strain on these vital systems. Mountains have occupied a special, even mystical, place in the human psyche historically and culturally. These gigantic landforms cover many centuries of spherical Earth, and numerous civilizations have worshipped them as sacred places, granted them with godly properties. In many cultures, mountains are regarded as homes of the gods, or sacred places for pilgrimage and meditation. Hailed in ancient ancient myths and legends, enshrined in literature and art, they offer powerful metaphors for strength and resilience, and for the transcendence of everything painful and petty. The thrilling feat of conquering a mountain has spawned thousands of stories of bravery and self-discovery. For most, the feast up the hill is not just a physical conquest, but also a metaphor for overcoming life's hurdles and enriching oneself internally. Mountains hold additional appeal within that of human adventure and exploration. One of the most difficult and gratifying activities is mountain climbing, or mountaineering, which attracts explorers from all over the world who want to be pushed to the limits both physically and mentally. Each ascent becomes a struggle against gravity, vertical and horizontal weather extremes, and an attenuated atmosphere, requiring not just technical skill and endurance, but a deep respect for the primal forces of nature. These trips often change climbers in ways that is hard to describe, creating camaraderie and leaving climbers with a greater respect for the fragility and majesty of the natural world. These experiences in turn have catalyzed improvements in mountain climbing technology and safety protocols, with important knock-on effects for our overall knowledge of high-altitude physiology and adaptation to stressful surroundings. Mountains are not only important for biodiversity and natural resources, but also contribute to local and national economies through tourism, agriculture, and other Ur-Basin-based livelihoods. This makes mountainous areas really hotspots for ecotourism, as travelers flock from afar to explore the stunning views, thrilling excursions, and cultural richness. This surge of tourism can support local economies, sustain environmental protection, and inspire communities to perpetuate traditional lifestyles. But the equilibrium between the two are precarious. Unregulated tourism, mining, and other extractive activities can compromise these fragile ecosystems through erosion, habitat destruction, and pollution. As a result, many of the governments and organizations are working to establish sustainable practices that will enable them to protect the mountain environments but allow for economic growth and cultural exchange. The study of mountains also holds key insights into larger environmental and geological processes. Scientists treat these natural laboratories as vehicles for understanding climate change, tracking seismic movement, and studying the evolution of the Earth. The marine sedimentary rocks, their fossil records, and glacial deposits in mountainous regions provide insights into past climates, tectonic shifts, and the origins of life on Earth. With this multitude of data, we can not only improve our understanding of all things scientific, but also help guide policy decision-making regarding environmental risk reduction and sustainable natural resource management. In summary, mountains represent much more than mere towering sculptures of stone and ice. They are alive with the interplay of geological forces, biological diversity, cultural heritage, and human drive. They inspire us with our respect and awe, offering crucial resources and inspiration across diverse fields of human endeavor. These landscapes become increasingly valuable for your challenges around climate change and maladaptive practices. Preserving mountains and the millions of people, creatures, plants, and ecosystems they help support not only saves natural beauty, but preserves a legacy of human exploration and spiritual contemplation that has persisted for millennia. Mountains, majestic and intricate, remind us of nature's inexhaustible imagination and humanity's perpetual relationship with the earth. Cats have long been a presence in and a favored subject of human history, finding a place in our hearts. Their extraordinary evolution from fearsome predators to loyal companions is enveloped in ancient history and story, revealing an unbreakable bond that has evolved with the ages. Straddling the roles of inscrutable hunters and endearing companions, cats have embedded themselves in our civilization's weave, representing things divine and mischief all within the same killer paw. Domestic cats trace their lineage back some 9,000 years to the hardy African wildcats that traversed the sun-baked savannas and woodlands of the Near East. When human society settled into static agricultural neighborhoods, these stores of grain drew an array of rodents, allowing for the co-development of a relationship that has proven mutually beneficial. The orange-tailed felines, attracted by the rich bounty of prey, quickly carved a role for themselves in these rapidly formed villages. Gradually, this relationship became ingrained, transforming from a practical partnership into the loving bond that contemporary cat guardians know. The cats benefited from a ready-made food source, while the humans received a safeguard against potential pest disasters. When you look at the physical capabilities of a cat, you can't help but be in awe of this miracle of nature's engineering. Equipped with eyes able to detect even the most minimal remnants of light, these skilled predators are incredible night vision creatures and thus fearsome nighttime hunters. Add in a sleek, flexible structure, strong musculature, and retractable claws, and you've got a creature designed for agility and precision. It is their dream, survival adaptation fine-tuned over millions of years. Only cats naturally twist in the air to land on their feet, a conglomerate of the righting reflex. The ability to evolve such fantastic methods of locomotion and hunting not only highlights their prowess as hunters, but also captivates researchers and animal lovers everywhere with the infinite lessons it contains on the brilliance of the biological blueprint. Each day in the life of a cat is a masterclass in energy conservation and instinctual behavior. Although they are best known for their moments of playful energy and hunting instincts, cats spend much of their day in restful repose, often sleeping between 12 to 16 hours. This long sleep is not at all laziness. It is an evolutionary strategy that maintains energy in case a speedy action is needed. And every burst of activity, whether springing up to pursue a phantom shadow or an intense stalking during a game of pounce, is followed by long, restorative hours of deep sleep. This cycle of wake and sleep not only promotes their physical health, but also reflects the energy management tactics of their holistic ancestor. In the realm of feline society, communication is a delicate ballet of sounds, postures, and nuanced behavioral signals. A soft purr is a classic sign of comfort and self-soothing. An array of meows can indicate everything from need to curiosity to an invitation for attention. In addition to these audible signals, cats convey complex emotions through body language. A slow blink can communicate trust and affection, while the position of their ears, tail, and whiskers helps them convey their current mood. Their grooming rituals, which take place several times a day, not only helps them maintain a clean coat, but also help them relieve stress and form social bonds, so it's more than just a matter of cleanliness. These multi-layered forms of communication contribute to a rich and nuanced dialogue between cats and their human caregivers, fostering deeper emotional bonds. Cats are culturally significant across numerous civilizations and eras, endowing them with a mystique that goes beyond the corporeal. The Egyptian relationship with cats is a rich and fascinating one. Cats had always been celebrated for their beauty and prowess as hunters. They turned up in art, literature, and even religious iconography, representative of everything from fertility and protection to the afterlife. You see this reverence in the ornate tombs and mummified bodies that were buried next to holy texts, statues, and other offerings. Over time, the patterns of these early beliefs have intermingled with the fabric of modern society, and cats carry on influencing literature, art, and media to this day. Now, a new level of celebrity has been bestowed upon cats via the internet, memes, videos, and social media posts that highlight their odd and adorable behaviors, cementing their position as cultural icons. Aside from their religious and aesthetic history, cats are windows to the wider natural world, as their personalities are often a dance of wildness and domesticity. Their activities in a contemporary dwelling reveal ingrained survival tactics and centuries of adaptation. Every pounce, every playful swat, and every contented purr tells of a legacy of evolution and a joint history with humankind that is both ancient and ever-changing. Whether they're sitting in a window, actively observing the world from the inside out, or napping in a sun-drenched spot in the working areas of a human household, cats are walking testaments to the great evolutionary forces driving our planet and the delicacies that it can manifest. Thus, in navigating the polymorphous realms of feline kind, we are reminded not only of the aesthetic beauty and physical prowess of cats, but of the vastness of narrative threads, kinky and literary, that complete the richness of feline history and domestic life, and curl botanically and romantically, both literally and symbolically, through the tapestries of our own lives. From China stopping household pets to mighty wild hunters, their evolution is a miraculous life story of resilience and versatility. With each graceful leap and soft purr, cats embody the delicate balance between nature and nurture, a dance that has endured throughout the ages, serving as a timeless reminder of the complexity and beauty that exists within the animal world. Crows are some of the most wondrous beings in nature, known for their striking intellect, complex social structures, and incredible adaptability. A member of the corvid family, these birds have developed such remarkable cognitive skills that they often rank alongside primates when it comes to problem solving and learning ability. Data collected from Your Tilling is their updated information up to October 2023. Their remarkable intelligence enables them to navigate elaborate social structures and environmental challenges, and their capabilities continue to intrigue scientists and nature lovers alike. Moving on to the social behavior category, crows are also known to be extremely social, with a complex system of sounds and communication with one another. The latest evidence supports the notion that they evolved living in large, dynamic communities that they need to monitor, and that they use a diverse array of calls to warn each other about potential dangers, indicate the availability of food, and even communicate specific details about their environment. Specifically, studies have confirmed that individual crows recognize details of human faces and remember them based on previous interactions, demonstrating not only acute observational skills, but also long-term memory capacity. This complex system of communication is accompanied by behaviors that include cooperative hunting and communal rearing of offspring, indicating a social complexity comparable to that of many mammals. Their versatility is just as remarkable, with crows being able to flourish in virtually every habitat on the planet, from dense woods and open fields to cities. In urban frenzies, they rummage through human detritus with ingenuity and resourcefulness, nests, and in more natural environments, they target insects, seeds, and small animals. This ecological flexibility reflects their willingness to exploit a wide range of food resources and respond behaviorally to different environmental stressors. In addition, crows are highly intelligent and therefore able to adapt and change their behavior according to changing conditions, which has meant that they have thrived in human-altered environments. Socially, crows have long been situated in the human psyche, starring in folklore, mythology, and art in many different cultures. It is these birds, which have long been regarded as omens or symbols of mystery, wisdom, and even ill fortune, that have inspired untold stories and legends. In some communities, the crow is embraced as a messenger between the physical world and the spiritual world, and in others, it is met with its dark plumage and piercing eyes with an evil omen. However, amid these different interpretations, one thing remains clear, and that is the deep and abiding connection between crows and the human psyche, a relationship that continues to spark our collective imagination. Crows are far more than their behaviors and symbolism or their ecological significance. As natural scavengers, they are an important part of the ecosystem, disposing of carrion and organic material. Ostriches are not just a disease control measure, but their cleanup efforts lead to nutrient recycling and keep their habitats healthy and balanced. Crows, in effect, act as nature's cleanup crew, demonstrating the value of otherwise overlooked species in the greater ecological picture. The social sophistication of crows is further demonstrated in the areas of reproduction and family life. These birds often form a strong, lifelong bond and work cooperatively to raise their offspring. Generous family units are largely found among crows, where the young are raised and learn to establish a set of skills necessary for survival by enacting what they notice and subsequent study in the context of the extended group. This cooperative child-rearing method is not just about increasing the survival rate of the young. It also helps strengthen the social bonds that are crucial for the survival of the group as a whole. These strategies, which include cooperative breeding among some crovids, underscore the role of sacrosanct social learning and symbiotic support systems in life history. Recent research has also illuminated the social transmission of knowledge in crows. In some groups, learned behaviors like certain foraging techniques or even the use of specific tools are inherited from one generation to the next. That kind of cultural evolution is unusual in the animal kingdom and is a testament to these birds' cognitive sophistication. The implication is that crows are not only capable of learning on their own, but also of sharing and retaining information that serves the good of an entire community. These results have major implications for how we understand animal intelligence and the evolutionary origins of sociality. And the research on crows has helped open larger scientific glimpses into intelligence evolution. Comparing crows' brain structures and behavior with ones of other intelligent species has delineated our understanding of how complex cognition could evolve in two evolutionary branches. These findings challenge the conventional belief that larger brains are a prerequisite for being clever, revealing that creatures such as crows, who have relatively small brains, are capable of exhibiting extraordinary intelligence. Their alien structure offers an intriguing look inside Eva's reasoning behind the evolution of intelligence, specifically regarding its problem-solving areas and regions associated with social interaction. Every couple thousand years over the past 40 million, crows demonstrated the marvel of natural evolution. This combination of intellectual agility, flexibility, and social sophistication makes them one of the most fascinating species on Earth. Whether seen in the wild or the urban jungle, crows never fail to astound and delight with their resourceful behaviors and embedded ties to human civilization and ecology. The more we learn about these incredible avian creatures, the more we learn about one of the biggest mysteries of life as well, intelligence, and how interconnectedness plays a role in the web of life that we are also a part of. Wow, what a journey through the world of wonders. From the Sahara Desert's lush green past to ants lifting 50 times their weight. We've uncovered just how amazing our world and universe truly are. So, what facts stood out to you the most? Was it the brain's power to light a bowl, the idea of walking plants, or the thought of a planet sparkling with diamonds? Let us know in the comments below. I'm dying to hear your favorite. Before you go, don't forget to smash that like button if you enjoyed these fascinating finds and subscribe for more doses of curiosity and wonder. Hit that notification bell so you'll never miss the next incredible installment. Remember, the world is full of surprises just waiting to be discovered, so stay curious, stay adventurous, and keep exploring the marvels around us. Until next time, take care and keep your sense of wonder alive.